Hello, everybody, and welcome to our HOLA Diversity Initiative on the month We Are Industry. We are so blessed, so honored to be in the presence of amazing, wonderful, outstanding Shaun Taylor-Corbett. Shaun, welcome. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We're very happy. I'm just going to read a very, very brief bio of a multi-talented, multifaceted Shaun. So here we go. Shaun was in the original production of In the Heights on Broadway and closed the show in the role of Sonny. He played Frankie Valli in the second national tour of Jersey Boys, Juan in Altar Boys of Broadway, and Usnavi and Sonny from In the Heights on the first national tour, as well as in the Broadway company. He has many different credits and has performed in many wonderful companies. His original Native American musical, Distant Thunder, that we're gonna know more about in the interview, will receive its first production in 2021 at the Lyrics Theater in Oklahoma. The show is based on Shaun's deep connection with the Blackfeet community in Browning, Massachusetts, right? Massachusetts?
Oh, actually, Montana.
Oh my God. There we go. Cats. No, it's okay.
That's
so
okay.
In Browning, Montana. He's a proud member of the Native Voices at Autry and performed with the Oregon Shakespeare Festival for 3 seasons. So here we go, from musicals on Broadway to Shakespeare. You cannot get more versatile than that.
Oh, thank you.
Shaun is an actor, writer, composer, lyricist, producer. Welcome, Shaun. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much. Yes, this is a wonderful introduction. Thank you. You have to do all my introductions, please.
And all my love to the people of Montana. I mix up, and still learning.
Oh, no,
but this is part of who we are, diversity and embracing everything. Even our little mistakes can be our funniest moments. So, Shaun, we can all see from your bio, you are a very, very versatile performer and a very versatile creator. So tell us a little bit more about all of that. How has your experience as an artist in general? Giving you the soul, the heart to play all these different roles, be part of these wonderful different productions. So please.
Thank you, Ima. Yeah, I've always wanted to be the actor that can take on different roles, that can have different challenges, and there are some actors that have one path, one type of character, maybe one show for a long time, and they're incredible at it and they're superstars. But I've always wanted to be able to do, an obscure Shakespeare character and then go on to play something like Frankie Valli, which is a role of a lifetime for me. And all the different cultural elements and specific details of that person's life, the different art forms. I've traveled so much and I've seen so many different communities around the world. And really, before I was embracing more of an indigenous perspective on my life based on my background, I was just jumping into everything. So I wanted to express, much like all of Shakespeare's world, just the variety of human experiences that we have. But I found myself jumping into everything, whether it's ensemble, whether it's movement based, whether I have no lines, whether I have one line or the lead, every challenge, primarily theatrically in the theater, but I breaking into all different genres because I think it keeps life interesting. And one of the other things is just the challenge of it. How centered and how balanced can I be within my own life to be able to be on a stage and not have any limits and see how far I can go in this career. With my talent, with all of the challenges in life. And I like that. I like having those obstacles to try to overcome. It keeps things really interesting.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the beginnings, right?
Okay. Yeah.
When did you feel in your heart? Because I know there is always a moment in the life of an artist that you feel it. that you
Yeah.
just wanted to do this, and you do this like completely, like you go from writing to composing to singing to doing lyrics. So you are
Yeah.
like the full, well-rounded, complete artist. So when did you feel that in your heart?
I felt it, it was always there because my whole family, we could talk about that later, but my whole family's in the business. It's like a troupe of artists, all of us. So I grew up with it, but I felt it for real after I booked the role of Pippin in Pippin the musical in college. And I was studying international relations. I wanted to be a diplomat. And my friend said, no, you can sing. You should audition for Pippin. And I didn't want to do it. And I got it. And when I was performing in front of people singing this beautiful music, I was like, I've got to try this. I've got to go to New York and give this a shot. I love it so much. So that was really the moment. Little did I know how hard it would be, and the level of talent in New York. But I'm glad I was very ignorant in the beginning. If I had known, I probably would have been too scared to try. But I had so much passion and heart, and I was very awkward and very rough around the edges. But I gave it was my heart, when I walked into the room, I was like, I just love being here. I got to do this. And that's what I think people gave me a chance over and over, which is great of them.
Well, we're so happy they did, because I think that's where all starts. You can take a million classes and that's all wonderful, but it's the passion and the drive that will really take you somewhere. So you have embraced so many wonderful roles that are so different. And I love that you said you were studying to be a diplomat, because here you are, you're a diplomat in the business. You get along with everyone and everybody. And how has been this, I'm sure, amazing experience of playing characters of different nationalities, different ethnicities, because it must have been very enriching and wonderful to you as an actor. So please,
thank you.
Enlighten us on all of this, please. Yes.
Well, I learned, I was very lucky. A lot of the conversations we're having today about identity and about, cultural appropriation versus being true to a culture that we didn't have them as much when I was starting out. And I was also a mixed race guy. I'm a brown skinned guy. I had a very mixed background growing up. So I just went for everything without having the conversations innocently. So when I got to play roles like Sonny or Usnavi, it was an education. I grew up with so many friends from Colombia, El Salvador, Mexico, and I felt like one of them in a lot of ways, because I didn't know exactly who I was when I was a young kid. I grew up my mom's side is Scandinavian. My dad's side is Blackfeet, and a few other things, but primarily Black and Blackfeet, and indigenous. So, but we didn't talk about that much. So when I was starting the business, I just I gravitated towards Latinx characters because that's what I was used to growing up with my friends, and that's how I think people saw me in the world. That's how I walked in the world and presented in a way to them. So I felt like it was a part of me. So, but I didn't have the cultural knowledge as much as I did after I experienced in the Heights, and I experienced what having pride in your identity and culture really meant, and the stakes involved in being proud of who you are and where you come from, especially if you're an immigrant, if you're brown in this country or Black, mixed race. So it gave me a huge foundation of being proud, even though I was still trying to find out my own place and where I fit. But everyone in that cast embraced me, and I got to understudy. I understudied. I was an understudy, so it was like part of the family, but in a gentle way. It wasn't putting me out on the posters and everything, but it was a very accepting feeling. And they built me up in that cast through all the experiences. Like I did something like 1,500 shows within the Heights, playing 5 different roles. Piragua Guy, Sunny, Usnavi, and Man 5 and Man 3 ensemble tracks. And I learned how to dance better. I already knew how to salsa and mambo, but I got even better doing partner work. I was speaking Spanish more and more backstage. I was learning the heart of and the pride of the Latinx community, and from all different, and how the variety from the different countries that everyone came from, but the collective support in one community. And that taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. And and then I got to do Jersey Boys, and I got to bring out the New Yorker in me. Hey, come on, what are you talking about? Being more like an Italian guy, which was like, I hope the Italians are all right with this, but they were. They knew I wasn't Italian, and I did my research. The most important thing to me is to represent. If I'm not of the culture, and I have permission to be a part of an experience representing that culture, I do my research, and I live in these people's shoes. So I went to Jersey. I went to where Frankie grew up. I worked with Bob Gaudio. Frankie, got to meet Frankie Valli. Talked to a lot of Italian Americans and their journey, their experience, and the struggles of making it from not having any money to becoming a huge sensation. So that taught me a lot too, about a different kind of pride. So I'm blessed. And then I got to go to Native Voices at the Autry, which really, when I got to, was the first time I combined my cultural identity in my life with the art that I was doing. And it taught me how to do that. And I combined, and I took what it meant to be prideful from In the Heights. And I finally had, in my own culture, this is pride that way. And I learned about all these different tribal nations through plays in a lot of ways. My own personal tribe is Blackfeet, and I'm not a card carrying member, but it is my father's heritage, something that's passed to me from my father's side. And I have a family, the Kip family in Browning, Montana, that has embraced me as part of their family. So I then, since the time I was 15, have been learning about my culture from them, and living there and being there, visiting really. But Native Voices at the Autry was the first time I got to combine my talents and everything I do with the cultural knowledge I already had personally, but then learn how we're all different in so many ways, and all the different languages, native languages we have, experiences, whether you're a coastal tribe, Pacific Northwest, whether you're more in Arizona, Hopi or Pueblo, whether you're an Eastern tribe, so it's Seminoles from Florida. So I learned all the varieties of who we are, but yet some of the struggles we face from oppression and societal trauma. And then I get to play those roles, So and then from all of that, I got to finally funnel those experiences into my own show through a musical. In the Heights, I wanted to do a show for Native people, like In the Heights did for Latinx people, and so that's my journey. Lin-Manuel has been very supportive. He has given me advice. He has promoted my stuff on social media. And I don't know if it's possible to have that level. I mean, maybe for me, but I think we all have to find our own level of success, whatever that is, and not try to copy others. But anyway, that's why I love playing all these different characters. It's the variety, and playing Shakespeare and trying to find out, well, what is a brown person's experience saying Shakespeare's words from England, all those years ago, like.
Well, I'm Shaun. I have to tell you, I think Shakespeare would be very happy, okay? Because
thank
authors
you.
write for the world. So
yeah,
he would be honored that a talented actor is is interpreting his words.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, I have coffee with Shakespeare every day. We have to keep our sense of humor, but I can tell you from, an artist's point of view, that we create work to to be seen. Like when people come to me, oh, I'm learning flamenco, I feel so honored because that's part of my culture. So if somebody from another country wants to learn about my culture, I feel so happy. So that's
good perspective. That's a great perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel happy that they love it so much. They want to learn it. So that's, the way, and I'm so happy for you too, that you got to play all this variety of characters, because I think in the life of an artist, the more diverse characters you can play, the better. And you have the soul to play, and sure, every community embrace you. And you've mentioned something very important. You have the opportunity to talk to all these different communities, and they all went through the struggle. So we believe sometimes we're very different. No, we are all a lot alike. We might have different traditions, but as people, we are all a lot more alike than we are different. We all want to be happy. We all want to connect. We all want to have fun, right? So so now now we're gonna dig into Distant Thunder, right? Your musical.
Yeah.
So what we are gonna do before we talk about it, we're gonna have the audience enjoy one of the songs that you co-wrote, right? And then we're gonna talk about it. So everybody enjoy Distant Thunder.
Hello, this is Michael Barron, producing artistic director of Lyric Theater of Oklahoma, and I'm in front of the set of Distant Thunder, the world premiere Native American musical. Our rehearsals were cut short due to the pandemic, but we are so excited to welcome back the Distant Thunder family next spring, 2021, for this very special musical. But for now, enjoy this special musical preview the cast has put together.
Thank you, Michael.
Okay, Nixie-Coax, hello, our relatives.
I'm Lynn Taylor-Corbett.
And I'm Shaun Taylor-Corbett.
We are the writers of Distant Thunder, along with Chris Wiseman. During this time of terrible upheaval in our society, we reached out to our cast members, both past and present, and asked them to present this song for you. It's Hold On, written by Shaun and Chris Wiseman.
We hope the indigenous message of our show brings light and love to all of you. While we strive for justice and giving voice to the voiceless, we hold on to the collective humanity that binds us all. Biotzitzikun!
When we ran through the camps, a smile on your face, you knew where to go all the time. From the shade in the stands to Medicine River, you knew. Down the road past the gym, up the hill to the school, you never let up till the end of the day. Like the moon chasing sun, I tried to catch up, but I fell. I'd put my hands on my hips and yell, hold on, 'cause I'm running out of breath. Hold on, 'cause I need to take a rest. Go on, you'll soon be way out of my sight. I held on to the memory that night. And then we ran past the stalls with the food and the games. I'd always get lost in the crowd. When I found you again, you'd say, try catch me if you can. You held fried bread in both your hands. Hold on, can you eat all of that? Hold on, you're making me so upset. So long, I'll leave 'cause I don't wanna fight. I held on to the memory that night.
It's like we had wings and we could fly away. I wonder who I would be if I had stayed.
Oh, yeah.
Since I've been gone, so much has changed, and I'm sure there's still so much change I have left to endure. If I can hold on, I know hope will find me tonight.
During Indian days, the voices would sing. I still hear the beat of the drums. We were lost in the dance, and I felt the love of this land. And I know that you understand. Hold on to memories forgot about. Hold on to time that is running out. Go on, and please try to do what is right. Let's hold on to the memories tonight.
Let's hold on to the memories tonight.
Let's hold on to the memories tonight.
I hold on to the memories tonight. Let's hold on to the memories tonight. We'll hold on to the memories
Hold on. Hold on. So long.
Okay, Shaun. So now that we have the opportunity to know more about the show and its creators and the wonderful cast and the beautiful music, go ahead. Tell us all about it.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, Distant Thunder is more than a show. It's more than a musical. It's a vehicle, not just professionally, but an experience for me to keep growing and learning about who I am. And as a mixed race, native, Black, white person, the main character, first of all, I'll say when I was 15, I met my mentor, Daryl Robes Kipp, who is passed on, but always with me in my heart. He was my, like an uncle to me, and his family, the Kipp family, they began to teach me the Blackfeet language and the importance of why we need to preserve our indigenous languages, because it's one of the key factors of who we are, and it's a portal into the past, into maintaining those traditions and bringing them forward, passing them on to our children. How we speak in our language is how we see the world. It's how Blackfeet saw the world hundreds, thousands of years ago. So that when you talk about something, it's not static, it's always moving. You know, the language is very active. It's different than just speaking English and describing nature or describing an experience. So I saw that and I learned that starting at 15 in Browning, Montana with Daryl, and I wanted to create a show that would share that message with the world. I also wanted to create a show that I could pour out my feelings and my experiences being a mixed race man or a young person at the time, not really knowing who I was, not knowing what my identity, how I could exist in the world as both having a white experience and having this other experience being a mixed race person. And that's the main character. He comes back home after 20 years. He's forgotten his language. He's forgotten why it's important to remember and hold on to the memories of his childhood and his culture. And he's representing an oil company that wants to buy land where the language immersion school is, where they're teaching the language. So if this oil company succeeds, it's the one school that is teaching the language on the reservation, the Blackfeet Reservation. And I'm representing that because I think it's a good thing to bring in money to the tribe, which is a very complicated issue because a lot of oil money helps tribes and has helped to give us economic status in the world. So it's not a very cut dry issue, but my character realizes in order to help the tribe, I eventually have to switch sides and help my childhood sweetheart protect her school. And that's, and Distant Thunder is very much like remembering the traditions and our ancestors and the lessons they tried to teach us. It's very far off, but we can use them to walk forward in the world as contemporary people. That's the other thing. I wanted to have a contemporary Broadway style musical that shows Native people as we are today, not the romanticized images of us hundreds of years ago, as gone, as extinct, as just riding on horseback with feathers. And I wanted to show that complex combination of our identity. So we have powwow music in the show. We have powwow dancing with regalia, which is what we wear when we dance when we do grass dancing in powwow, or chicken dancing, which is the Blackfeet dance. And then I'm dressed, I'm just dressed in a suit most of the time, singing pop music, but others are singing what we call vocables, indigenous music. When you hear powwow music, oftentimes it's vocables, sometimes not words, but it's its own type of word in a way. But so that's what I wanted to show, but make it a Native story with Native traditions in a Broadway setting. And over the years, we have gained so much knowledge from, my whole viewpoint has changed since I started the show to now. I started it from a very Western perspective because I was kind of more in that world. And as I've had experiences with indigenous people and I've walked that life, my perspective has changed. The show has changed. I've realized what certain structural Western patterns I've been following, kept some of them because I do come from the Broadway world and love that style and structure. But I also, Native structure breaks that. It can't fit in that all the time, can't be boxed in. It's circular, it's flowing, and not always like bop, 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 point A, point B, point C. Sometimes you go back in time. Sometimes you're not in a timeline that's exactly, chronological. So it's been a very cool journey, and it's like a theater company. We found so many other like artists that are doing their own projects now. And I want it to be more of like a production company going forward. We have a film version of the show, but we're going to the Lyric Theater as a stage show, and we're very excited to have the first production after all this time in Oklahoma, where is one of the most packed area of Native people in the whole United States, because obviously that was where the Trail of Tears ended, and because of that harsh history, now we have this rich variety of indigenous communities and nations there, and I'm so happy to open the show in that location.
Well, I think it's the perfect location, the perfect show, and how inspiring. I almost, got emotional when you said I want to do for the Native people what In the Heights did for the Latinx community, right? So that is great, and you will, and the movie will happen too, and we can all educate ourselves on what it looks like in this present day, not the romantic version of it. I understand.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, there's a wide variety of things. I'll sing traditional music. I'll wear grass dance regalia, but then I'm also singing in a suit. I singing in a suit. Singing vocables in a suit. So it's and I'm always learning. I'm a student. There's so many people that know so much more about indigenous experiences than I do, but it's a journey, and I have elders who are helping me along the way, and we make mistakes, like you said. You know, it's not something we have to know everything about right now, but we're living the experience. So expressing it is important.
Excellent, excellent. So I just wanted to ask you, because I know there will be a lot of people watching us all over the world, and they will say, oh my God, he did Broadway. How does that feel to be a Broadway actor and also now to be creating other wonderful projects, and also especially to the kid who feels doesn't fit in, because there are many ways in which sometimes we feel we don't fit in, not only race, sometimes it's personality, language, so many things, right? So what would you say to that kid who loves the arts but feels that there is no place for him or for her? What would you say?
Well, I would say, if I could do it, you can do it, because I was so shy, you know, and I came from a really like beautiful, loving home in a way, but it was a broken home too. And I was 5. My mom raised me. I love my dad to death, but when out back then, I didn't have a lot of self-confidence. And so to come from where I came from and be able to have passion, if you love it in your heart so much, you got to do it. You got to try. You got to put yourself out there, because that is the key. It's that energy. And when you walk into the room and you have that heart and that passion, I wasn't the best singer. I wasn't the best dancer. I wasn't the best actor. I didn't know what I was doing. But I walked in there and I was like, I just got to do this. I love it so much. I learned every lyric to the opening of In the Heights, and I did it every day for like 2 hours. And I didn't even have an audition. And so when I got the audition, it was such a joy. And Lin-Manuel's comedy and his humor and his quirkiness, I was like, that's me. I could be a dork, you know? I could fall on my face. I remember one day I was walking to the theater and I was having a hard time with the character, Usnavi. I wasn't, you know, and I was eating an egg sandwich and it was icy and I slipped on the ice. I flew up in the air and my sandwich went flying in the air, like one of those deli sandwiches, you know, and the bread came down and hit me first, like one bun at a time. And then the eggs came and hit me blah, 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 while I was on the ice, you know, and I was so embarrassed. And then Chris Jackson told me when I got to the theater and I told him the story, he's like, that's Usnavi, you know? So I was like, oh man, this is perfect. But being able to step out on that stage and have my mom there, you know, lights up on Washington Heights up at the break of day. I wake up and I got this little punk I got to chase away, and do that whole rap in a spotlight on Broadway at the Richard Rodgers Theater. Woo, hardly anything can compare. That was beautiful. And it was like, I thanked the creator. I was like, thank you for giving me this experience. Thank you. I don't know. I was in the right place at the right time. I had heart and I had that blessing and this luck. And, you know, and I think you can do it too, you know, you can do it too. And I started late, you know, I didn't even start training until after college. So it was all raw love of the game. So don't think you have to go to study for 20 years before you do it. You just got to dive in and people will help you out. We'll help you out, you know, because that youthful drive and energy is the magic that gets you cast. That is what everyone's looking for. It's not just like who's the most virtuosic singer, dancer. It's that joy and innocence and magic. And that is what's hard to maintain the longer you do this. So whenever I need inspiration, I look to young performers or I go to a class and observe a class and I'm like, I got to have that again. I've got to try to have that same excitement when I walk into a room. You know, I think it's coming back, you know, because I think I lost it a few years. I was forgetting. And oddly enough, in this pandemic, I've been getting it back. And it's, so I'm so excited when we come out of this, even now, to share what we're doing now and to do Zoom performances and readings. So yeah, it's a good time for this.
We totally agree, and thank you, because, you know, I was getting the chills when you're saying just have the passion and the love, because, you know, I totally relate, not only me, and sure many of the people who are seeing us, and that's, I think, the love and the passion that no matter what has to be in you. And
yeah,
I think the global situation, like I call it, has made us go inside a little bit and reconnect
Mhm.
to our true mission, right? So my next question would be, like artists, are feeling this too, and feeling a little sad sometimes because we're missing our audience's life, even if Zoom is amazing. So what's your message for artists? How can we best use our creative juices in this time? Any advice? Because you are doing great. Your musical is happening. So
Yeah.
inspire for artists, and any other person you would like to thank. I know you mentioned great mentors like Lin-Manuel, right? And Darrell, I think you mentioned too. Any other mentor who had an impact in your life, and how they help you continue being inspired, yes, even in times that the whole world was rocky.
It's funny. A lot of them are from in the Heights, like Karen Olivo, Eliseo Roman, Robin de Jesus, and our dear Doreen Montalvo Man,
Yes.
who we love and we lost, but she still lives with us. She always inspired and still inspires me, and she always had a positive message. So she's another one. Luis Salgado, who, before I even knew what it was to be like an artist activist, he was teaching me that. Because honestly, when I first started, I was like, what am I going to book next? What cool acting experience? And Luis was like, I want to help children. I want to educate. I was like, oh yeah. Well, let's do that. So he taught me a lot about that and the bigger mission, but I think, like you said, going inside, we have this time and this space now to see what are things we can unblock inside. Who are those family members? Who are those people that we haven't ever healed something with? Now is the time to do it, because I think I see the connection of doing that and all those maybe inner blocks that you've had to those dreams that you have. Because once you release those things, it frees up some kind of energy that, if you want to be a singer, you're going to enjoy it even more. And I think if you're a singer, you sing a couple hours a day, like, don't hurt your voice, but whatever, or if you want to get better at it, Zoom classes, or asking a friend for some lessons or some advice, not being too prideful. If you admire someone, one of your friends is a great singer, just getting their advice on it, letting go of thinking you have to be the best and you can't show any weakness. I think creating your own work is very, very, very important, no matter what you think it, because now everyone's asking for our pieces and our voices to be heard. I'm not necessarily, don't think of myself as a director or a consultant, but I've been trying to challenge myself, because I used to run away from that. And now I'm trying to say, no, let me be at the table. Let me try to help consult on a very difficult subject matter, culturally, in a show or something like that. So I'd say step out of your comfort zone, give it a try. The world is watching now. We have this incredible platform where a producer could see something, be like, I like what they're saying. I like connecting your art to, a social justice issue, is just important, and not waiting, not saying, let me wait until we get back out there and wait for someone to discover me, but just go for it. I mean, so many younger people doing like TikTok and all these great platforms that are blowing me out of the water. I mean, I'm trying to keep up, so maybe you guys can teach me too. That'd be good.
Wonderful. So, Shaun, no, you touch on so many wonderful things, like create your own work. That's right. Don't judge yourself. Just enjoy your own work. Put it out there. Take classes, get ready, and also do it. Like, if you are a singer, sing. If you are an actor, act, even if it's in your living room.
Right.
And I think that the times of anybody discovering anybody, I think they're gone,
I know.
I mean, they can, discover you somehow, but you need to put the work, your own work.
You got to put the work out. The discipline, the amount of hours, even, whatever, it takes a lot of discipline. It takes so much dedication. You could, if you're a dancer, you want to do a triple turn, and it's like, you only got a double. You got to keep falling down, don't hurt yourself. Have some padding, on the ground, but try, you got to nail it. You got to really go for it. We only got one life. We only have a little time. So you got to dedicate yourself to that. That's what it takes. You can't wait around. And I know it's hard. We're all trying to do that and survive and have money come in, help our families. It's not easy. So even if you're not making money, even if you don't have a creative outlet, you can still, like you said, sing on your own. You can dance on your own. You can pick up a monologue and just work on it 15 minutes a day. It's that dedication that will shine through when the opportunity comes, because they're coming, and we're getting a lot more access now to these opportunities as people of color. So just we got to be ready for it.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Shaun, how can our viewers find you? So give us all of your social media, website,
okay, cool.
all of that.
All right, yeah. So Instagram's my favorite. So Shaun TC 37. So SHAUN 37 on Instagram. On Facebook for the musical, Distant Thunder the Musical. That's a Facebook page. We're coming out with a website soon. And I think those are the best ways. Yeah, those are the best ways. I love Instagram. Wish I had TikTok. I do have TikTok. Haven't started doing them yet. But anyway, yeah, those are the best.
So that's your next project, eh? A TikTok
Oh, you're
sensation.
right.
I have to learn it too, but that's okay.
No.
One day at a time.
One day at a time. Also, Lyric Theater. I'd love for you guys to go to Lyric Theater, LYRIC Theater with an RE at the end, .org, lyrictheater.org, to check out the updates for Distant Thunder and how you can get tickets, how you can learn about the cast, and eventually stay fans of the show, please. And I want you to see it at some point. So that's the best way to follow Distant Thunder other than the Facebook page.
Great. So remember Distant Thunder, now with my beautiful Spanish accent, Distant Thunder on Facebook, on the lyrictheater.org, right?
Yes, perfect.
And we will become fans of the musical, make sure we like everything. Then we'll also find Shaun T37.
Shaun, actually just Shaun TC 37.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. You see, I have to test my actress memory, right? In Instagram, so we can support as much as possible this wonderful musical and these wonderful artists. And Shaun, before we say goodbye for today, because this is only the beginning of a conversation, we'll have more for sure. But just for today, any departing words of wisdom, of inspiration, any message you want to give to the world?
Let's hang in there. We're almost there. We have to collectively lift each other up with energy, with acts of service. If one of us needs some help one day, whatever that is, help that person, because you're going to need it. I think more than anything, our art impacts the world. It shapes the world. It's not just for our own egos. It's not just for our own self-expression, which is important. But how can we build a better community coming out of this? Because we need it. We have seen the depths of darkness that we can go to if we don't do it. And that is the stakes. So we all have to contribute. And something like this today, and what HOLA is doing, and what you're doing, Iman and Malcolm, and so grateful for the work you're doing. Let's support them. Let's support HOLA, and all the young artists that need some leadership so that they can be leaders for the next generation. So let's go. Vamos.
Vamos. Yeah, Shaun. It's been so wonderful to talk to you today and so inspiring. So from our HOLA Diversity Initiative, we support you. We support Distant Thunder. And all of the wonderful artists that you are also giving a voice to in the musical. And soon we'll be able to travel. So we're there. I love to get on a plane. So, so as soon as it's okay to travel, we are in Oklahoma and then everywhere. So, and I hope, then it develops so much that it can come not only to Broadway, but to all over the world. So
Thank you
right
so much.
here. We're sending you the best energy, and thank you. So it's been a wonderful pleasure, Shaun. Goodbye. Thank you, and we will see you very soon. Anything else you want to say? No. Okay.
No, I'm grateful. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. The pleasure is all ours, and thank you for all of our viewers. Thank you for tuning in and for supporting the HOLA Diversity Initiative. This is Ima, sending you lots of love, everybody. Have a great time. Lots of love. See you soon.
Bye.